Giorgio, do you have more submissions now than you did a few years ago?
Not really. No, not really. We don't have much more submission because of the formats, but for a different reason, in my opinion. Independent filmmakers who produce and realize their films on their own home are not firstly in the river of the international distribution. So sometimes they address themselves to little film festivals, specific film festivals. They are not encouraged directly to go to the big structures like Venice Days in the UK. So yes, in terms of number of titles you can consider, and this is up to us also to go and discover, not to offer ourselves. Yes, of course, you have much more production, much more possibilities, much more issues. But there is a sort of wall between the professional world and the independent creation. And this kind of wall is not destroyed at present.
I apologize for my English, I'll try. But I would just say, I think the question is you can do different films with different technologies. And for me is very important the choice for a director, the choice of everything, of people with, you want to make a movie, of formats, of technologies. And so I think with new technologies you can do things before you can't do. You can work with very few people if you don't like to have around a lot of people. But the important is the responsibility and you know what means your choice. I don't like the idea you can do the same film with more or less technologies, with more or less money. It's not very interesting, it's very creative.
Now, everybody has, their mobile phone with them. And it used to, 100 years ago, people had maybe 3 hours of entertainment a week. They maybe go to the theater, maybe somebody play the piano at home. That was it. Now they have entertainment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And again, when there's a little film on YouTube, little 1 minute film, 2 minute film, I don't think of that as filmmaking. But when filmmaking started 100 years ago, the film was a train pulling into a station, or a man kissing a woman. That was the whole film. And then it built and built. Is YouTube storytelling? Are people going to be making films for mobile phones? Are they going to be making 4 minute films or 40 minute films? I mean, there will always be, I think, the 90 minute, 2 hour film where people go into the theater. But is this filmmaking, or is this like amateur photography?
Maybe I think that the main change in technology is towards distribution. Distribution is changing everything, because PlayStation is a channel, iPod is a channel, or iPhone, or YouTube is a channel, Vimeo is a channel, and Nintendo is a channel right now. So everybody's in ITV, which is gonna be the next option from Apple to use television as a new medium, as a new digital medium. I think that is gonna change everything. And as you said, people aren't gonna watch a movie in their iPhone. People are gonna watch a short film and maybe play games, which is growing rapidly, very fast, because games are not for grow your cultural abilities or your cultural intellect, but to only entertain yourself. So video games are going to change everything also, and that's merging, because maybe the last Star Wars movie are more like a video game. Maybe Avatar is more like a video game narrative. that that many films in the past that weren't aware of video game narrative. And today, if you watch a movie, a Hollywood film movie, it's mostly a video game that you play sitting in the theater. So everything is gonna change, and I think we don't know where it's heading.
Yeah, I would like to ask you, like for Pequeñas voices animation, when you started to do doing the animation of Pequeñas voices, did you? I mean, were you afraid how the animation, like mixed techniques, will come out for Pequeñas voices?
Afraid of mixing different techniques?
Yeah.
Maybe as a company, we used to produce some video clips for music channels that were more like the movie with 2D and 3D. So we had experience before that mix of techniques, and I think that has to do with Colombian way of life, if there's any something like that, because we mix everything and we try to take from several sources and from several techniques and mix them together. So in the beginning, Jairo asked us to replace some characters, some background characters or some secondary characters.
Yeah, because I saw it was like the main characters were in different techniques and the rest of them, yeah?
See, that was a conscious choice. We try to differentiate them very clearly for the audience. So the main characters pop up in the screen to the audience.
Yeah, I like that. And I have a general question, like because we have the theme of, discussing what form will tomorrow cinema take. The animation is growing. I think it's like the techniques are better, and a lot of people are deciding for technique, rather than a movie, because it's a more simple way of. You're not ought to get the crew and cameras and whatever. You have to have equipment that you can draw and do it on a computer, yeah. So I think it's easier way.
And it's cheaper right now. As the cameras are growing cheaper, the animation is also more democratic nowadays, because everybody has a software that they can use. Before the animation was like a special technique that only few people know, but now software is getting the people the knowledge to make any animation, even bad animation, which is the most that you can see is bad animation, but they can do it. In the past, if you don't have that knowledge that came from Disney or came from Disney mainly, but nobody knows it. And DreamWorks may be late. They get into the business of animation and maybe anime movies, but it was a very small, very few people that know the technique. And nowadays it's very simple to take Flash or Toon Boom or any software to